What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Ladies News Like Talks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. The YouTube woods that ended up having a Sunday smash when it came to betting, got the Tony Pollard lock across. Buffalo completely disintegrated the Jets. I hit almost every single anytime touchdown. Out of all 6 of them I played, hit 5 of 6. That was good times. Austin Eckler, you should be ashamed of yourself. But otherwise, it was a pretty decent NFL Sunday from a betting perspective. DFS, we're not going to talk about. Again, that is over at the Stokastic YouTube channel. That's where you can catch me for that. But anyway, we're talking some good betting, and we're talking BetMGM. We got a new promo going here. $1,500 in bet credits, 2 months of OS Discord, and 1 month of OS Premium here just by signing up. Those are good times. Again, we've got Odd Shopper. Amazing things going on this, in these parts of the YouTube woods. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I know is we have 8 games coming down the pipeline here. Monday Night Football. I know everybody wants to watch Philly and Kansas City. Philly. You might want to get some money on them, just throwing it out there. But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to that. But we got 8 games in the association going on, and so far, so good here tonight on Sunday. Saturday ended up being profitable. Rudy Gobert ended up getting the double-double plus Minnesota money line in ridiculous fashion. Thanks, Kat, for showing up. Thanks for joining the party, my friend. But anyway, we'll talk about all the goodness that is BetMGM, only for 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But producer Jacob, he's here, he's ready, and also the Vikings second half. We are recording here at halftime. I got to go. You understand. Fandom? Well, I don't know. Some of you are going to enjoy the fact that I'm talking faster. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. I really hate that my model is the way that it is, but you know what? It believes in data and it believes in numbers. And also, one thing that I try to do is I try to take a couple of minutes off of top players when you're talking about back-to-backs, because currently Boston is playing Memphis. It is 79-76 after 3 quarters of basketball there. I'm going to be paying attention to that throughout this program, but that is also why I'm calling this a lean. We have a number of back-to-backs ongoing right now, and I don't want to give you bad information. We have finals odds that now sit above you. Charlotte, they fucking suck, just throwing it out there. But Boston on a back-to-back. Jaylen Brown was questionable entering Sunday, then gets upgraded to probable, ends up playing basketball. What happens here? Does Kristaps Porzingis play on the back-to-back? I don't know, friends. I'm not positive, but all I know is that Charlotte is not a very good basketball team, and yet my model is saying plus 10 is a pretty decent spot to be backing here. Now, one, part of that is because of the reduced number here in terms of like, I'm not getting a full allotment. I'm not putting Jason Tatum in for 39 minutes on a back-to-back. Jaylen Brown, I have down to 36. Could very well sit here on the back-to-back him or Porzingis or Drew or I don't know. They don't need the entire infantry to go out and win a basketball game in Charlotte. But when you're betting 10 points, you don't need them to just, I mean, they can win the basketball game. Just win by less than 10. Again, I don't want to pull the trigger on this, even though this is technically a like. So I will throw this out there again. If you are running to the window to go try to play Charlotte here, have fun, enjoy. Miles Bridges is back. He looked good. Nobody's cheering for him, but he looked good at basketball. So I'm just throwing it out there. Charlotte, a little bit undervalued here in this spot based on what this back-to-back could be for Boston. Pay close attention. There's also, well, yeah, we're not going to talk about Bridges. Anyway, Charlotte plus 10, lean. I'll be paying attention to props once those drop. Probably not going to be doing anything in this game, though. If I had to guess, I repeat, though, this technically is a like, but it is going to be a lean. I'm not playing it. I will be playing this. Milwaukee, Washington. How many times have we watched Washington just get completely disintegrated at basketball? First off, they're number 1 in pace, 103.7 possessions per 48 minutes. 2, their adjusted defensive rating is 24th. But 3, they have the second hardest defensive strength of schedule to start off this season. They've played a lot of teams like Toronto, the Knicks, Cleveland. It's been a little bit of a disaster for their scheduling from the early onset. And, well, it's just showing out even more so because they can't play with a lead ever. And they're 2-10 and they're horrendous at basketball. But Milwaukee's not. They're awfully good at basketball. I was paying close attention, thought maybe Giannis was going to be a candidate to sit here over the course of this weekend. That did not come to fruition. I expect the entire crew to be out there rocking, ready to go here. Sunday was a day of rest. And, well, you give Giannis a day of rest here against the Wizards. This should be evisceration quickly. But I've had this happen enough now against Washington where they've had these insane blowouts. And if Jordan Poole isn't knocking down shots, if Kyle Kuzma isn't knocking down shots, they have nobody else to knock down shots. And then none of them can play defense because Tyus Jones is about as effective as you or me or anybody at guarding a basketball. Deni Avdija, he is not concerned with guarding a basketball. And Daniel Gafford tries to block everything. If you watch him play, he looks like a carp out of water. So Bilal Coulibaly, you're not going to save anybody here. Just saying, Milwaukee, I think they end up running away with this one. But 9, I'm probably not pulling the trigger here for Milwaukee on the road. I am pulling the trigger on the under of Damian Lillard, though. Coming off of a couple of games where you saw him playing alongside Giannis, he has looked much, much better here. Played without Giannis here for a couple of games ago. But I want to just throw it out there. When Giannis is active, when you're playing a team with blowout potential, lots of ways that this works out for you. So I put a half unit. This is actually the first play that I put into play here today. And something eerily similar in a couple games coming up as I was going down the line. But Damian Lillard, under 27.5 points, I like it for a half unit. It's Nikola Jokic against the Pistons coming off of a loss. An embarrassing loss there for Denver and Cleveland on Sunday. I assume that he ends up playing on this back-to-back. And here's the nice thing, is that when you bet guys that are on back-to-backs and they don't play, it's voided. Whereas opposed to like you take the spread, you're going to have to live with it. But this is one of the lines that was not available. I have this as an opening efficient line of 9 for Denver. So I want to throw that out there from the get-go. There are no numbers available here right now. You can look at offshore books. You can do your own modeling. You can do either or. I expect it to open up in that range unless we get news, of course, that somebody from Denver, like Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., who's had the back issues throughout his entire career going back to high school, or Nikola Jokic here, where he's the most important player on any team in the NBA because he's the best player on any team in the NBA. But yeah, we're just going to be paying close attention to that here. As for Detroit here on the other side, they ended up playing on Sunday as well. We'll say Jalen Duren ruled out from Sunday. He's questionable, but it's not an official injury tag. It was just a conversation that they had after the game, Williams had after the game, where he said, Jalen Duren, there's a chance that he plays on Monday. I'm not sure what that means because, again, it's not an official injury report. That doesn't drop until much, much later in the day on Monday, that first issue of it, and then you get the second issue of it, and then you live with your life with whatever happens. But looking at Jalen Duren, he's been our double-double cash cow when healthy until he turned his ankle, and he's been kind of dust since then. It's been difficult. Again, 4-4, played 23 minutes against Philly, got completely shut down by Joel Embiid, and wasn't an enjoyable experience. But both of these teams on a back-to-back, I would obviously be leaning the Denver side of it if it opens around that number, but I'm also going to be leaning towards Jokic to come back with vengeance in a much easier, much better spot than what they had on the road in Cleveland there on Sundays. So friends, you know what to do. The guy's averaging 30, 14, and 9.5. You're getting plus money. We locked it Friday. It was good times. Let's run back the good times. Let the good times roll, in fact. Nikola Jokic, no Jamal Murray. We see the assist rate come down ever so slightly, but here's the thing. At the tail end towards the playoffs, when Jamal Murray started playing 36 plus minutes a game, you saw the assist rate come down. So the larger sample size is not indicative of what I think they're going to have going forward. Jokic should have his assist rate be even north of where it's been here. So yeah, I'm talking in circles. I want to go watch the Vikings. You know what to do. Leaning Nikola Jokic as long as you're getting better than plus 135 here. If you're not, I apologize. This segment was worthless. This will not be worthless. I have another under that I'm interested in. Ooh, Eric, we don't want to bet unders. We want to bet ladders. We want to bet. I get it. Ladders are fun. Chutes and ladders. That is not fun. It's a terrible game, and I can't believe it was invented and people actually enjoy it. Candyland, that's fine. A little creepy. Scrabble, phenomenal game. Yahtzee, that's my shit. That's my shit. Just saying. Ooh, that's my shit. That's Gwen Stefani too. Few girls around that track. Let's talk basketball. Clippers, Spurs. Victor Wembanyama confirmed pretty awesome. Victor Wembanyama, very good at the basketball. Victor Wembanyama getting better and better and better. 31 minutes, 19, 13, 4, and 8. 8 blocks against Memphis. Memphis, what are we doing this year? Has anybody watched Memphis play basketball? Now Marcus Smart's going to be out for infinity, however long. 3-9. Desmond Bain, he's going completely nuts here on Sunday. But Victor Wembanyama, he's only going to improve here, especially in some of these spots where it might be more competitive. This is probably not one of them. 7.5 point spread. Lots of ways that this gets wonky, but I got to say, Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, I was very curious how this was going to play out here. Terrence Mann hasn't been utilized much usage, and I was like, well, thought about shorting Kawhi Leonard first time right out of the gate there, but I think with Kawhi Leonard, looking at the matchups here, Vika Zubac, Zach Collins, I think Victor Wembanyama ends up adding his length to Kawhi, and I don't play many matchup spots. It's not my thing. I think it's very loud. I think it's very overrated, but there's no doubt that 7-4 Victor Wembanyama just around Kawhi Leonard is just a wonky, weird thing to imagine in my brain. And also, you bring Russell Westbrook off the bench, James Harden's going to step into more usage within this first unit. I expect that to, as we gain more of a sample size, to be the truth. But as it stands right now, I do have Kawhi in for his normal 36 minutes. I'm not going to go crazy trimming minutes here, even in a 7.5, 8.5 point spread like we've got here. But I am going to be shorting his points as well. So him and Damian Lillard, both guys that we expect to be number ones, they're both, Kawhi is a 1A on his team. Damian Lillard's a 1B on his team. But Kawhi under 23.5 points. As we start to stabilize more of a sample size, I'll have a better feel on it, but I kind of want to get paid for it before the books know too. Under 23.5, feel like this is a little bit too high of a number. Revenge in his heart, perhaps, but why? Kawhi, do you want to play on this Spurs team right now with Pop? Probably. Friends, so nice to have a new sponsor here, BetMGM. You can claim up to $1,500 in bonus bets at the link below when you sign up at BetMGM. Doesn't matter if you're going state to state. You know what? Awesome stuff. You can sign up in the new state that you're at. 2 months you will get of the premium Discord. Myself, Ben Raza, Isaiah Suarez, Eitan Shander, all the people you know and love here on the Odd Shopper YouTube channel at your service. We are here to post our premium betting cards. And yes, NFL Sunday was good, for the love of God. NFL betting Sunday was great. DFS sucked. But either way, friends, this is phenomenal stuff that we have going here with BetMGM. So take advantage of the 2 months of the premium Discord. Come hang out with a very sharp, very fun community day in, day out. I'm posting my premium betting card every single NBA slate, NFL slate. It was MLB. Those were good days. I'm going to miss that for a while. But telling you right now, 2 months of the Discord as well as 1 month of the premium OS tools. Take advantage of that by signing up at the link below. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. I was a little bit surprised by this, but here's what happens for me the night before. Uploading adjusted net rating, adjusted offensive rating, adjusted defensive rating, and you start to get kind of a sample size for each team here. And coming at about 10 games is when I can kind of start to stabilize where I think like matchup-based expectations can be. And, well, Chicago, everybody loved posting that 20-1 screenshot that they had the other night against Miami because, well, hilarious stuff. Ha 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 ha. Well, Chicago came back and won 102-97. Wasn't so funny after all. Miami's slightly favored here, and I'm a little bit surprised by it, and here's why. Number one, Tyler Hero. Yes, he's out. He's not the best player on planet Earth here, but Alex Caruso, probable yet again here. He has been walking into more minutes like I've been begging them to do at the beginning of the season, where he played 20, 21 minutes, 22 minutes in 3 of their first 5 games. He's played 31, 24, 23, 29, with 2 of those being a little bit wonky game scripts. He had 5 fouls against Orlando, limited his minutes, had 4 fouls very early in the third quarter in that back-to-back Orlando game, had 4 fouls there, didn't end up on the floor very much, but I think we can peg him in for 29, 30 minutes in competitive spots where he's not running into foul trouble, and he is the best defender on the floor on either side of the ball. Yeah, you heard me. Alex Caruso is that dude. He has been throughout his career. There's a reason that the Lakers utilized him for as many minutes as they did in the bubble. And then there's a reason that they found crazy regression in 2021 without him. Finding Austin Reeves worked out very nicely, but gotta say, he would be a great fit on that Lakers team right now to hold down the defensive side of things. Yes, D'Angelo Russell's been playing all right on the offensive side, like you would expect, but like come playoff time, D'Angelo Russell's not what you want in your life. Just throwing it out there. Alex Caruso, far more of what you want. And when you're looking at a basketball game that's taking place on November 20th, you don't want to get carried away saying that that's going to be the huge difference maker because, again, there's a lot of other pieces at play. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. But Bam Adebayo, he's been awesome. And I don't know what happened here in the last few, but his assist rate has started to come down again here. Now, Kyle Lowry playing on the floor with him is not my favorite thing on earth because we saw him be a great distributor until they acquired him. And now Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry on the floor alongside Bam. He's basically an offensive forward, defensive stalwart kind of center. He's never going to be a stretch the floor 5. He doesn't shoot threes at all whatsoever. So you want him to be involved in the pick and roll. You want him to be involved in dribble handoffs. You want him to be involved in creating for you. Not enough space being created. And that's how you really take advantage of Chicago, is you take advantage of those matchups that LaVine and DeRozan are just not going to be going out of their way to defend. You have Torrey Craig, you have Alex Caruso on the floor. Not going to be super advantageous here. And that's where I think Miami, their offense isn't set up to succeed in its current iteration. You have Duncan Robinson. He is a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. Jaime Jaquez, just a little bit too young, not a great creator at this point in time. Maybe we start to see, as he develops, that'll be something. But I don't really like the floor spacing that we have here for this team. And a lot of that just bears out when you look at their adjusted offensive rating because, well, they're 21st in the entire association. They were 7th in adjusted defensive rating. That is what their calling card's going to be. But they have the 25th strength of schedule thus far, the 5th easiest strength of schedule in the entire NBA so far. Now facing a Chicago team that I think the public just wants no part of. Sure, I'll just jump back in the pool here. Give me that. +1.5. I'll take the points here, in fact. -110. Again, getting a 1.5 for 10 cents. Very, very much worth it because, again, Chicago, you bet them on the money line. Well, you're not getting that 1 point, and that can be very, very valuable when you're talking about end-of-game scenarios in competitive spots. So over a long sample size, that is far more advantageous. Give me the +1.5 on the Bulls side. We got the Sacramento Kings on a back-to-back where they just ran, and I do mean ran Dallas out of the gym there in that second half. It was beautiful stuff. By the way, also Santi Aldama, I'm watching this game in the corner, 25, 11, and 6 for him here. All they needed to do was get rid of Marcus Smart, and they were going to be a functional basketball team. That's weird to say. And I don't mean anything against Marcus Smart because he's actually better than this. He's just not Ja Morant. Desmond Bain, he's playing okay too. But want to say, Santi Aldama just winning the day here for the Pelicans, or not the Pelicans. That's the team we're about to talk about for the Grizzlies. But anyway, let's talk about Sacramento and New Orleans. Sacramento, they ran Dallas out of the gym, wild stuff. New Orleans, they had a day of rest. They were able to kick their feet up, relax. Obviously, Zion Williams resting the other day, injury management. That was a little bit frustrating, came out of absolutely nowhere. And then, well, we couldn't do anything about it because the books just ripped that line off immediately. It was bummer times, but Zion Williamson back here in this one. CJ McCollum obviously still out. Trey Murphy III, who I always miss. He's getting close. No, he's not. He doesn't have a firm timetable for returning. But as I look at this Sacramento-New Orleans spot, Sacramento running Dallas out of the gym is always nice on a back-to-back because you could probably fire stuff up blindly going into it on the back-to-back and probably be on the better side of things. But I don't think we want to be jumping into a pick'em here with Sacramento and New Orleans. I have this as 0.5 on the Sacramento side. And again, we're looking at a -1 line. It'd be a horrible bet. Horrible bet. In fact, almost everything here until we get props is kind of a horrible bet. Under 237.5 is the thing that grades out the best for me. It's not all that good of a play, but pay attention to what we have for a Sacramento starting unit because that's going to be one we could possibly take advantage of. I mean, Kevin Huerter ended up sitting on Sunday. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter what your name is. They just had Chris Duarte shout out the Ducks. Quack, quack, Oregon guy. He went completely ballistic, played awesome there on Sunday. If you watched that game, let's be serious. You didn't watch Sacramento. I was the only one who watched Sacramento play basketball. It was better than football because Cooper Kupp got hurt. I'm in shambles. But under 237.5, friends, that is good stuff. If you're looking for something from this, I am not going to be firing it up because nothing looks good as of now. 2 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we head to somebody that I'm very, very happy with. And it was wild that it was grading out well for me here because I have to just kind of, there's a lot of things when you talk about something from like a 1% expected value until like a 5% expected value. And if it's at the top of the range there, or, God forbid, 7, 8%, those are your automatic locks. Those would be no doubt slam dunkers. But when we're talking about a range of outcomes here, there's a lot of plays that fall in that 1-2% expected ROI level based on like shopping at OddsShopper, based on projections at Stokastic, where it's hard to know what to make of things. And I hadn't bet it yet until I had a day off on Saturday and I went deep diving on why my Minnesota Timberwolves are playing so much better. First off, the big revelation. Rudy Gobert is back to being that defensive presence. He is number one in the NBA at defending shots at the basket. And that's literally what we acquired him to do, because Cat couldn't guard you making a layup. I'm not going to say me right now, although I could get a bucket back in the day. Just saying. But as you look at Rudy Gobert defensively, awesome stuff. But you have Naz Reid, who has been sharing the floor quite a bit with both Cat and with Rudy Gobert. Not together, not all three of them in unison, but it's been two of them at a time. And Rudy Gobert has done a great job of just cleaning up the defensive boards, allowing Naz Reid to sit around the perimeter on the offensive end as well, or get things moving in transition. And Naz Reid, I could not love a man more than I love Naz Reid, except for... No, I definitely love Naz Reid more than I love any other man on this earth. He is so damn fun to watch. Knocks down every three. And yeah, Celtics fans, you thought you were getting Naz Reid at the trade deadline. Get off my lawn, kids. Stop it with your crazy shit. But Rudy Gobert, he projected out phenomenally well, both in projections and at OddsShopper for a double-double on Saturday. I ended up combining that with the money line, which ended up being a more risky proposition because, well, we needed Cat to knock down a bucket at the end of that game to cash that ticket. But I think we just run the entire thing back here against the Knicks. Now, this is a little bit tighter spread than the 7.5 that you had against New Orleans the other night. But at home, we have now seen the Minnesota Timberwolves slay both Denver, Boston. I'm not a big home road splits guy. All I know is that I usually factor in 2.5, 3 points, just like every book does. And I just move along my day and play them straight up because I don't think about it in those terms of like matchup based. I just simply plug it in for the numbers. But this is where I think it's interesting. Rudy Gobert now, when he has Naz Reid on the floor, and as Naz knocks down shots, he needs to be on the floor for 24, 26 minutes a night here. You're seeing that rebound rate come up to a place where he's going to average 13.5 rebounds alongside him, as opposed to his season 12.5. So 11.7 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game. You're looking at a full 1.5, 2 points higher, a full 2.5 rebounds higher on just an average basis. Now, you want to think about things from a median perspective, like where is it going to land a majority of the time, but you've been able to get his double-doubles around -150, -160 for the last month. And it was the first time that I fired it up in single game parlay fashion on Saturday. I want to run it back here because I'm feeling really frisky now. Instead of the full unit premium Discord people, I'm going to a half unit. I'm going a little bit smaller. This is a Knicks spot where they're going to try to slow it down. You have two better bigs here in Mitchell Robinson and in Julius Randle, who have better rebounding stuff. Jonas Valanciunas, he just gets garbage rebounds. Let's be serious. He's a defensive rebounder and also just he's not very good. I hate to say it. Producer Jacob, you don't care about Jonas Valanciunas, do you? My name is Jonas. Good. That's all that matters to me. Rudy Gobert to double-double plus the Minnesota money line. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, but only for half a unit here. And the last game of the night, the Houston Rockets on a back-to-back. In fact, they just tipped off, 45 minutes ago here, up against the Los Angeles Lakers. They're up for... I like the complexion of their team. 6-4. They're 0-3 on the road for what it's worth. So not sure exactly what's going to happen here as of Sunday night yet. This game is not done, but the line is available. And I have to say, Tari Eason, that's the one piece that we do know about. He's playing on Sunday. He's going to be resting on Monday. But with that known, Steph Curry came back. I'm still not impressed with this Golden State team. They are absolutely backing up. And Draymond Green, not going to be out there. Gary Payton, not going to be out there. Draymond Green suspension, Gary Payton hurt. So, Chris Paul, sometimes you reach the end of the boarding walk, and, well, it's not Chris Paul's fault because he's been awesome so far. 12, 11, and 4 last time out against OKC, his former team. 4 for 7 from 3. If I told you that Chris Paul was shooting 4 for 7, 4 for 6, 2 for 3 in his last 3 games, you would think, oh my God, he's got to be shooting like 50% from 3 on the season. Wrong. 30.2% from 3 on the course of this season. 30.2. He's shooting less than 40% from the field in general. And you know what? That's not even as pathetic as what Klay Thompson's been here for this Golden State team. My dear God, shooting 33%, but that's like his calling card, and 40% from the field, completely irrelevant when Steph Curry was out. It was brutality to watch him against OKC. Now, obviously, you get Steph back. Steph is one of the more important players in the NBA to his team, especially the way it's constructed. And Golden State is not the ones on the back-to-back here. But Steph Curry playing 40 minutes against OKC. They end up losing that game because Chet Holmgren is that dude right from the get-go. But I'm looking at all of their metrics without Draymond Green, and it is so putrid on the defensive end of the floor that there aren't even words for it. Like, truly, one of the worst teams in the entire NBA on that end of the floor here without Draymond Green. They are 11th in adjusted defensive rating with him on the floor. They are 24th with him off the floor. They've had a very difficult offensive strength of schedule, so there is that, but this is so tough for me to look at. Even with their ninth in adjusted net rating, Houston is playing really good ball and getting 7.5 here. Even on the back-to-back, I think you want to be dipping your toes into that pond. I trust Udoka. I trust a number of these players to just continue to grind out close, slow-paced basketball games, and that is going to be what it is. They either dictate the pace of this basketball game, 97.2 possessions per 48 minutes. That is the third slowest pace in the NBA, or Golden State just goes down, knocks down every single shot, and Steph Curry completely eviscerates this line. But I have this winning with a 60% chance, again, plus 7.5, 60% on a minus 110 proposition. I take that every single time. Again, we're talking one of the larger expected value plays that I've ever had on a spread in the NBA over the course of the last year here. And it's purely because as you take down possessions in the course of a basketball game, you reduce the variance of it. I think Houston with Fred VanVleet, this is a perfect opportunity to get it in good. Plus 7.5. Would be surprised if it closed here unless somebody gets hurt in the next hour, and that would really suck for me. But locking it in, Houston plus 7.5 up against Golden State. They're reeling. They continue to reel without Draymond Green. And that does it for another edition of Liddy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist here on the board for Monday. Excited to be talking NBA with you. We've got that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we have a day of rest, but not really because I'll be doing NFL Lindy's for the Thanksgiving turkey edition. Going to be beautiful stuff. Sorry to everybody for sounding like an absolute dying turkey there, but either way, going to be fun stuff on Thursday. The turkeys do die in the name of holidays and stuff, so it is what it is. Producer Jacob, you're going to see a lot of me the next couple of days. Let's have some fun, my guy. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Monday.